Greetings everyone, welcome back to another video. It is modification time for the GSX-R. Finally started getting some bits that I've been talking about, and we're going to be doing a video on this one because this is probably my most anticipated mod that a few people have been asking about, and I am seriously excited to put this on a bike because I've never actually owned a bike with one of these before. So, what do we have? Bam! So we're going to be fitting a HM Quickshifter. This isn't just any HM Quickshifter, this is their sort of top of the line one. This is the Plus SS model, seamless shift. I didn't go for the GP model because that's just crazy expensive. I would like to try it out, but it's just too much money. I had trouble justifying this one as a sort of a mostly daily, well not daily ridden, but you know, street ridden bike. But I sort of justify the cost because I can carry this shifter, well this quick shifter, across to other bikes in the future if I want to. I just have to get a new wiring loom for that bike. And yeah, so this is the kit. We're going to be putting on the bike in this video, and we'll, you know, maybe chop in a video at the end and take it for a test ride. Won't be today, so it's going to be over like a couple of days, this video, because the weather is crap today. So it's a good day to be working on the bike. I just want to say straight up that HM's service so far has been mind-blowing. Like, I've never had an Australian retailer like them. I ordered this yesterday in the morning, and I had shipping notification an hour after placing the order, which is just ridiculous. Normally in Australia, you can order a part in the same time you could order it from another country and get it quicker from another country. It's just ridiculous what some retailers think service is in this country. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so in the box, there's not too much to talk about really. What do we got? So you got your manual. We've got, I haven't actually looked in here myself yet. So I've got the actual quick shifter. Comes in a static proof bag, which is nice. Pink is static proof, generally, or static resistant. So there's the quick shifter itself. So we've got the actual module here, which goes on the shift rod, controller with display readout. And we've got the connector, we've got an earth for the battery. All the wiring on it is top notch. OEM quality, probably even better than OEM quality to be honest. Connectors are all weather sealed, good quality. And here we have the wiring loom. So that is the wiring loom that goes between all the spark plug coils. So we've got to put that in. Again, really good quality, all heat shrunk. It's just really, really nice. Let me focus in on that a bit more. Go that way. Yeah, so you can see that. Really nice. But yeah, so we've got to put all that on. And we have got some bolts. We have a loop back connector. Not sure what that's for yet. We'll check the manual. And of course, a crap load of stickers. Be sure to put one of them on. Oh, almost forgot. Shift rod. So I had to get a new shift rod because this is shorter. So that's a 115 millimeters, that shift rod, because the actual quick shift unit is 50 mil. My stock one is 160, so this is 5 mil longer, but should be still close enough. If it's not, I can always just take a little bit off the end, but I think we'll be fine. So anyway, let's get started on this and start stripping the bike down. Should be pretty straightforward. I've just got to get set up. Thing we need to do is remove the fuel tank. Well, not so much remove it, we just have to lift it up. So we need to undo the tank bolts, which are 4mm. So once you've undone the fuel tank bolts, you want to also make sure the seat is removed. I forgot to mention that. I already had the seat off my bike, so it wasn't really relevant. But it's basically 2 screws on either side of the seat, which just there, and one on the other side as well. So you just got to make sure you remove that. That just lets you lift the tank up on the hinge that sits at the back. So now we've got to remove the airbox. So this is what the airbox looks like. I'm trying to hold a camera and a torch at the same time so I can show you what's going on. So basically there's one bolt at the front of the airbox which holds it down. So we're going to remove that bolt. We just done that. Now we need to go down, and on the airbox, for each throttle body, there is a... why won't you focus? There you go. There is a screw clamp. This holds the airbox to each throttle body. Now I've already unscrewed them all just so I can illustrate what's going on, so you can see that's already broken away from the throttle body. So there's one there, there's one behind it, there's one behind that, and there's one behind that. So you get to 2 on this side, and then you go around the other side, which we'll do now. And there you go, there's another one. And there's one behind that, so that's the other side. Once you've done that, you need to remove a couple of hoses and a couple of connectors. So there's a connector just here, so you're going to remove that one. There's a oil breather hose here, so you're going to disconnect that. It's got a little clamp on it. You can do it by hand, don't need pliers or anything. So you just disconnect that, and then we go back around the other side. Alright, then we've got a pressure sensor up there, or a vacuum sensor. That's just got a single hose going on it. You just pull the hose off and then disconnect that connector. So they both just plug into that, which is mounted on the bottom of the airbox. And yeah, you're good to go. The airbox is completely disconnected now. We can lift it out of the bike, which we're going to attempt to do. It's generally not the most majestic process, but it usually works. If we can get this out, it should come out without too many hassles. In regards to taking the top of the airbox off, don't need to do it. Well, I don't need to do it because I've already done the air filter recently. If you guys want to do it, perfect time. There's just screws around the perimeter and one in the middle, and you can swap out your air filter. But we're going to skip that today because it's all done already. So I'm going to try and get this out. So there's those lovely throttle bodies, 4 of them, 8 fuel injectors. There's actually 2 sets of throttle body blades. There's one here and there's one below it. And yeah, we're not going to be working on that though. We're going to be working on these guys on the left here. So I'm going to reposition the camera. And basically what we're going to be doing is tapping into these wiring looms for each of the spark plug coils, so we can kill the spark on the bike when the Quickshifter engages. Alrighty, so I've just been looking at the HM wiring loom, trying to work out which way I want to route it on the bike. I think we're going to go with the factory connector, which is this actually interfaces with the Quickshifter. So we're going to route that down the left side of the bike, down this way, and then we're going to run these connectors between all these ignition coils. So yeah, we're going to get started on that now. I'm just going to go around the other side and we'll start doing it. It's pretty simple. Basically we unplug it and then we plug this in the middle and then just connect it back into the loom again. So we'll do it on the first one and then I'll speed through the rest. So basically you've got your factory connector there, and we want to grab the corresponding one here, which is that one. So basically plug that in. Get a good click, like a really good click, and plug that in here. So I'm going to turn that coil a little bit, like that. That's it. So basically it's just sort of interrupting the wire in the middle, and that's how it controls when you get spark and when you don't. Alrighty, I'm pretty happy with that. I've just cable tied the wiring loom a little bit, just try and clean it up. You don't want to go crazy with the cable ties, don't pull them tight or anything, just enough to hold them in place and keep them out of the way of anything they shouldn't be touching. Otherwise you can end up doing more damage than you would otherwise just leaving them hanging there. So we're going to move on to the shift rod linkage and get this done now so we can get the rest of the wiring loom in. I've already sort of dropped the wiring loom in from the top of the bike, and I've just got the actual pressure switch just hanging out the bottom so we can get this hooked up. So first thing we've got to do is remove the stock shifter, sorry, the stock shift rod, so we can do that. So we'll just see if we can get this unscrewed. Alrighty, so we've broken that loose. Now we need to crack this nut. We'll see if we can get that loose. Probably a 10mm. Back that out. Alright, so there's the stock shift rod. So if we compare it with the new one, you can see the height difference. This has to go on the end. So we should be about plus half a centimetre on the end of it, according to my calculations, which we should be able to take up with the extra slack by just winding the threads in further. So we're going to mount this on. So these are the threaded inserts for the actual pressure switch. They have an Allen key on one side, so we can tighten them up that way, but we've just got to wind them in. I think I like the OEM ones better. They're twice as thick, more to grip onto, so we're going to stick with those. So we're going to wind this in. We're going to have to take this in all the way. We'll see where we're sitting. We may have to cut this shift rod down to size. Sorry about that, guys, that was a bit of a pain in the ass. So basically I had to shorten the shift rod, so I took probably 80mm off it because this thread doesn't actually go into the body of the Quickshifter very much. Not compared to what the original shift rod was like anyway. So yeah, I've taken a bit off to make up for that distance there, and this side's been wound out a bit as well just to clear the body of the Quickshifter, because when this goes up, I'll go down a bit, when it goes up it was getting pretty close to here, so I've left a good gap there. The shifter is going to be down further than it was before, but I'd rather that than smashing the body of this, so we're going to go with that. So basically we're just going to clean up the wiring here. So we're just going to tuck this wiring loom probably like that. I'm just trying to work out what's good for slack. Don't want it hanging out too much. May actually, no, I don't want it near the chain. Don't want it anywhere near the freaking chain. So yeah, basically we can put this back on now. So you can get that in again. I'm going to push this in all the way because it actually deflects the rod a little bit and it gets a bit close to the shifter. So I'm going to run this all the way in. Tighten that down. I'm still not completely happy with this shift rod. I'm going to break this loose a bit and tuck this in a bit better. Try and get that sitting better. It's a bit too much tension on the ball joints. We've connected all the wiring up and I routed it through the bike. I couldn't really show you guys as I was doing it because it was sort of a trial and error thing, but I can at least show you what's being done. So that was all the ignition wiring we did at the start. So, and the connector was just here where the torch is pointing. So that's been plugged into the other part of the wiring loom. And these white cable ties that are sticking up with their tails still, this is where I've routed it. So it runs down the left side of the bike, follows an existing wiring loom. And yeah, so then it runs up here to the battery area, and that's where the controller is. It's just sitting in there. See if I can focus in on that for you. Nice little spot to sit it actually. Now, what I don't like about this unit, and I think they could have done this a lot better, was the grounding for it is really short. And I was struggling to find a good spot to put it. So the ground wire is up here with the connector for the ignition coils. And the battery is down that end. You see the problem? So yes, there are points where you could ground it in the engine area, but it's just a pain in the ass. So basically I ran, the ground wire won't reach the battery, but I was able to run it down to here and then down. So my ground wire is just there, right next to the throttle connector. It's behind that little, sorry, no, it's on top of that wiring holder just there, which runs down to the Quickshifter. So it's all just sitting there. I've sanded off the paint on there a bit just to get a good connection. It seems to be working fine. So yeah, we're going to stick with that. I would have rather run it to the battery, but it's just not going to reach. It's a stupid spot that they brought it out in the wiring loom. Don't know why, but yeah, done. So we're going to put all this back together and yeah, see if the stupid thing works. No, it should be fine. Other than that, that grounding connector, I'm pretty happy with the kit. as long as it works, of course. If not, I'll throw something around. But yeah, so let's put it all back together and see what happens. Alrighty guys, it's now the following day. Been dialing the Quickshifter in for a few hours, just trying to get it right before I did a video about it, and I think we're almost there. Sensitivity I've had to turn right up. It's sitting at 85%. Seems to be pretty close to where I need it. Kill time I've still got to play with a little bit. It's at 60 milliseconds at the moment. It's a little bit hard to judge if it's too much or too little, so I'm trying to nut that down. There you go. It's when it's perfect, it's seamless. I mean, I know it says in the marketing shit, but you don't feel it. All you hear is the exhaust change a tiny bit. It doesn't pop, it doesn't do anything, doesn't backfire. It just changes gear. It feels like a German DSG gearbox. It's that fast. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm just hoping we can get it dialed in just a little bit more. Hopefully we can get it smooth at wide open as well. Hey, problem is you can't rev the friggin' thing. Leader bikes. But yeah, I'm impressed with the adjustability on it. Sensitivity is in 5% increments, which is plenty enough. It seems to be, there's no middle ground I need. Kill times are by the millisecond, and you basically say if you want seamless shift on and off, and that's about all the adjustment you've got. You get more with the GP shifter, but I'm not a GP rider, so I don't need it. And it's working at like nothing. Like that's 3,000 RPM I was shifting at, or less. And yeah, doesn't seem to care about doing low RPM, which was the biggest concern I had about getting a Quickshifter. I don't want to have to flat foot it all the time just to use it, so out of the box it was set to 50% sensitivity, and that was way too little. I had to really slam the shifter to get it to change gear. Now it's I'd say it's a moderate force to get it to change at the moment. I could dial it up to 100 if I want, and it'd be feather easy, but there is chances that you'll hit neutral a lot if you do that, because you won't be putting enough force on the lever to get it all the way. So I'm just going to leave it here for the time being. We'll see how she goes, and then we'll take it from there. So yeah, anyway, my Quickshifter is done. Onwards to more videos. Until next time.